Did you guys ever wondered how much can cost an advertising billboard like this one in Hong Kong? Well, I also don't know, but I'm sure it's quite expensive. So if you, like me, don't have a lot of money to spend in things like this, you can follow this tutorial for free. Hi everyone, I'm Stefano from SotoZen channel. Welcome to this tutorial in After Effects. I will show you how to track this scene and then how to align this image here in the way that it moves properly to this billboard here. And also we will see how to color correct a little bit our image in the way that it can interact better with the environment, and also we will try to mask out this wire that is passing in front of our image here. Okay, so we have something to do. Let's go into After Effects right now. So let's create a new composition from footage, and we want to import our video. So what we want to do is to replace this advertising here with our own image. To do this, the first thing we have to do is to 3D track our scene, and in After Effects is quite easy. Just go here in the tracker panel and click Track Camera and wait for After Effects to finish the work. When the job is done, you can see a lot of these cross-colored points all around your scene, and if you move your mouse around, you can see this target circle that try to indicate you the perspective that After Effects has built for you. So in this case, what we are interested in is this plane here. So we can simply select or draw a selection with our mouse around all the points that are on this plane, and you can see that our target circle is in the right perspective. So we are quite satisfied with this, and we can right click with our mouse and select Create Solid and Camera. We have now here in our composition a 3D tracker camera that will follow our scene, and we have this new track solid object that After Effects just created for us. It is not quite easy to see and handle in this way, so what I like to see is to apply a grid effect to this one. And maybe we can increase a little bit the thickness of our grid. And now what I want to do is to press S and open the scale value, and I want to deselect this chain factor. In this way I can scale my grid object freely, and I'm trying to find the best alignment possible for this object. Okay, let's say that I am quite happy with this basic alignment that we have at this starting point, but as you can see, as we go on our video, some issues is becoming more visible, and this is because of the tracking process that is probably not perfect, but later I will show you how to fix this. But right now let's import our image, and I prepared this simple graphic file here in Photoshop, and the only thing that you have to care about is the aspect ratio of this image. Otherwise your imported image will distort once you will try to put in the right place, And what I use to help myself in this case, I take a look at the scale factor and I can see that it's this 145. It's more or less 150 and 50. This means that is 3 times longer than height. So this means that the aspect ratio is 3 and 1. And so thinking of that, I prepared my image that I now want to import into my composition right here. So now we have our advertising image, but it's a 2D layer and we want to convert into a 3D one. To do this, you simply click this little cube icon here and you now have your 3D object somewhere in the 3D space. To align with our grid object, let's press P, open our position, select and Ctrl C to copy that, and then let's press P again under our image layer. Let's select and pressing Ctrl V, we want to paste the coordinates. And you can see that now it snaps in the right position, but the orientation it is not. So to fix also the orientation, let's do the same. Let's copy and paste the orientation value for our from the grid object to our image object. Now it's quite in the right place, and orientation we want to scale a little bit in this way. We can now hide our grid object, we don't need it anymore. So we have so far this quite decent tracked object that is following our scene. But let's see how to improve a little bit this alignment here that you can see have some issues here. So in order to do this, I use this mesh warp effect. And what this mesh warp effect does, it uses this kind of net to allow you to distort in the way that you need your image. And in our case, we only need 4 corner points. So let's bring down these 2 values here to 1. And maybe we want to go at the first frame here. And we can also press T and lower down a little bit the opacity to better see the position of our layer. And with our mesh warp selected, we want to grab the corner position and adjust the best we can to the corner of our billboard here. And we want to do this for all the 4 corners. And now that we have our position right in the first frame, let's insert a keyframe for this distortion mesh animation stopwatch that we have here. And let's go ahead maybe somewhere like here. And we want to again adjust. Sometimes it's not so easy to select the handle of this mesh warp. So let's see what we have so far. Let's bring back the opacity. And we still have some problem here. So we need to insert another keyframe at this very last moment. I think it will help. Yes, it's a little bit better. Pressing E, you can see actually where you put your keyframe for this distortion mesh effect. Okay, you see sometimes it's not so easy to select. Let's undo this, and the way that I found useful is to select and quickly drag away the point. In this way the selection works, at least for me. Because you see you have now here two different positions. This one is your actual layer, and this here is your mesh mesh warp modified layer. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes, but you have to know what is what in this case. But I think we can be quite happy. Maybe here we can improve a little bit. And I think we have now something decent going on. And of course we will do later some color correction, and we will add also a dirt map to better integrate this with the overall scene. But before that, what I want to show you is something not easy, because we have this wire that's passing right in front of our image. So how to get this wire back in front of our tracked object? Let's hide for a moment our object. I select my Hong Kong layer, Ctrl D, I duplicate it, and then I bring this on the top of my composition layers. And we can also rename this properly, maybe wire mask. Let's go to the first frame, where you can see the wire is all across our billboard. And let's draw a simple mask that follows the shape of this wire. We want now to shape animate this mask. So pressing M, I can see this mask menu, and I want to click on this stopwatch icon here to insert a keyframe on this frame. And let's go ahead maybe 1 second, and I want to update the shape of this mask as I need. So now it's only a matter of animating this mask. So I will speed up a little bit the process for you. So we have now our masked layer that's showing only the wire area, and we want now somehow to isolate the wire. So how to do this? Well, there's different ways and different techniques, but in this case it's a little bit complicated because we have contrast, but in some area some of these dark blue color are very similar to my wire. Let's go to a frame where we can see all of our wire, like this one, and we can see that we have this blue color, and to get rid of this is quite easy. We can use a color key, and we can select this with this picker here, and we can slowly increase the tolerance maybe 32. And then what I like to do is to duplicate, to sample another one, and maybe duplicate once more to pick this one. And then I can do the same also for this gray area, and once again, and once again. And it's a matter of try, and this kind of situation really depends on case to case, and this needs really time, so I won't spend too long on this, because for the purpose of this tutorial I want only to give you the idea, but there are also other ways where to achieve the same kind of effect. For example, you have also the extract plugin that helps you to bring out only the black one. Yes, but let's say that I'm happy with this result, and you guys have the idea how to go deeper on this process if you need. And so the next step is to color grade this layer to better integrate it on our Hong Kong scene. So the first thing we want to do is to select the Hong Kong layer, and maybe I like to use the selective color to increase a little bit the blacks, and maybe with some basic curves we can have some more contrast on our scene. You can see the difference is a little bit more cinematic, I guess. And of course the first thing we see from our graphic is that it's way too saturated, so let's select our advertising, subscribe to SotoZen. By the way, it's very good advice. I'm just joking, but with this select I want to start from hue and saturation, bring down the saturation, and also the overall lightness, something like this maybe. The second thing is to clean. So I prepared this dirty map that has the same proportion of my advertising image. Let's bring on top, and I want to make this also a 3D layer. So let's press P and R to bring out the position and rotation, and we want to copy position coordinates from our image to this new one, and the same we Ctrl C and Ctrl V for the orientation. And we want also to copy and paste the scale, yes, and also we want to copy the mesh warp. To copy the mesh warp, remember to be at the first frame, because you have some keyframe animation here, you can see pressing E. So you want to be at the first frame in order that the animation stay on the same timeline position. So let's select our mesh warp, Ctrl C, let's select our dirty map, and then Ctrl V. And now we have our dirty map object perfectly overlapping our image. Let's now change the blending mode. Press F4 to go back to this layer, and you want to choose something like multiply, and maybe this is a little bit too strong, so let's press T to call out the opacities layer, and maybe go down a little bit, maybe 80. And so we have our final effect. Our advertising is tracked and following our scene properly. and usually I do my tutorial based on some animation that I already finished and uploaded to my Sotozen channel, but in this case this scene is one that I am actually working for the next video that will be out in a few days, I guess, and that's some kind of slither animation in real life. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I won't remember this time to subscribe to my channel because you was forced to read it so many times during this tutorial that is implicit, I think. Okay, thanks a lot for watching and see you soon with another video like this. Have a great day. Ciao.